last time Texas won a national championship, Colt McCoy was a freshman on the sidelines, watching QB Vince Young lead the Longhorns to their 4th national title. Now, it's Colt McCoy's turn to be the shining lone star.
There's your quick 6. What a play!
Today could be an historic day in the life of the Heisman Trophy frontrunner. A win over the Bears would tie McCoy with the NCAA career victory record and bring their hopes for a 5th national championship one step closer. The Baylor Bears are November's most improved team in the Big 12. Freshman QB Nick Florence is red hot, throwing for over 420 yards and 3 TDs last week. The Baylor defense has turned it up and is punishing opposing running backs and receivers.
You have to respect the game.
It's exciting Big 12 college football as 3rd-ranked Texas travels to Waco to battle the Baylor Bears.
It's the final home game of the season for the Baylor Bears as we welcome you to Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips HD. Today at Floyd Casey Stadium, the number 3 ranked University of Texas Longhorns will take on the Baylor Bears. Hi everyone, Bill Lamb, Dave Lapham, glad to have you with us today. A couple of outstanding quarterbacks, one young, one a veteran, who are setting records recently here, Dave. Let's start with Texas Colt McCoy. Maybe the record he's most proud of is the one he could tie today, and that would be winning.
And that's what a quarterback's evaluated on. How many wins do you have? If he beats Baylor today, he ties David Green with 42 career wins. Difference is he'd be 42-7. Green's 42-10, much better winning percentage. And I'll tell you, his lifelong friend has helped him win a lot of those football games. Jordan Shipley and he last week were amazing. Shipley, a school record 273 yards. He had 185 of those on 3 catches. He went 44, 53, and an 88-yard touchdown. And the biggest thing between a quarterback and receiver is trusting each other. And these guys are on the same page every snap.
And for Baylor, a long shot here today, but their hopes are up after a road win at Missouri, just the 3rd for Baylor in Big 12 history on the road. And they did it with a freshman quarterback, Nick Florence, getting just his 5th start.
His 5th start, and he's got 2 wins now. And that was his first Big 12 win, and did it on the road. And this young man is coming along, and there's game planning to his strengths, and he has some. And one thing he knows he needs to do is get the football to Kendall Wright. They hooked up 10 times last week, and he had a career-high 149 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and he's maturing as a wide receiver. He's a very technically sound route runner, and he's where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there, and Florence and he are hooking up pretty well.
So the offense is looking for big plays. Who's going to stop those game breakers? Well, a little pressure on the free safeties. With more on those guys, here's Emily Jones.
Well, as you alluded to, these secondaries both should be plenty busy, and a couple very good free safeties roaming around their respective defensive backfields. For the Texas Longhorns, it is the young guy, the sophomore Earl Thomas, who's already notched 43 tackles, 6 picks, and 11 pass breakups. Meantime, it is the senior for Baylor, Jordan Lake, 68 tackles on the season. He's got 300 for his career. It is senior day. He's playing his final game here in Floyd Casey. We've got the kickoff coming up.
Welcome back to Phillips College Football Saturday from the Big 12. Number 3 Texas and the Baylor Bears. Baylor at 4-5, first Big 12 win of the year last week against Missouri on the road. And the Longhorns ranked number 2 in the nation, number 3 in the BCS, and Mac Brown's club at 9-0, 6-0 in conference play. And you see the lofty numbers that Coach Brown has totaled in now his 12th year. And overall, Mac with 210 wins in his 26th year as a head football coach in Texas, headed for the BCS title game if they can take care of business the remainder of the way. And there's still a lot of business to take care of. Art Briles has done a nice job of trying to turn things around here at Baylor in his 2nd year. Last year, the Bears going 4-8. He lost his star quarterback, Robert Griffin, early on before conference play. And then Nick Florence stepped up last week with a record-setting passing day of 427 yards to lead Baylor to a win over Missouri. And there's new hope here in Waco.
And they exercised another demon under Art Briles. It was 11 straight conference road losses that they broke that streak by winning on the road, and they came from behind in the second half. They had not come from behind to win a game in the second half 23 straight games, 23 straight times. Broke that little streak as well.
Gary Stone will kick it off here for the Baylor Bears, and Texas in the end zone, will down it and bring it out on the 20-yard line. As DJ Monroe, who's returned a couple for TDs, not able to go on this one. Here's the Phillips HD starting lineup for Texas. Offensive line, veteran and getting better every week. Utotosky, Tanner Hall, Huey Crew. And then you see the backs and receivers. Cody Johnson getting the start today. Great effort last week. And the quarterback, of course, is Colt McCoy, the 6'2 senior from Tuscola out of Jim Ned High School. And McCoy throwing for 70.8% completion in his career. Absolutely phenomenal.
As you saw, almost one half of the time he leads his team on touchdown drives, 49 on 100 possessions.
And on a 1st and 10, swarm tackling on Cody Johnson. Phillips HD starting defense. Philip Taylor got the tackle there. The transfer from Penn State has impressed. You take a look at their linebacking core, and we get back to the action here as Kirkendall on the play scampers out of bounds for the first down at the 31. Pavelic, one of the all-time greats here at Baylor, playing his final home game. And if you throw out all-time great, you better put Jordan Lake in that same category for Baylor. Another veteran that seemingly has been around here for about 10 years, a senior out of Houston Memorial High School.
In Texas, controlling tempo. They're going no huddle, up tempo, trying to make Baylor simplify.
Johnson, big hole, 35. Johnson still on his feet, and Johnson picks up the first down himself to the 42-yard line. Jordan Lake making the tackle.
And Texas does a nice job of opening things up front. Watch the offensive line. Nice job, a little inside zone cut block. You got the rushing lane. Excellent.
Texas again. Johnson out to the 42-yard line of Baylor this time. And Jones makes the tackle. Cody Johnson, the sophomore from Waller, Texas. Texas coaches told us they wanted to speed it up right from the beginning, Dave.
Yeah, and they wanted to come out and establish some energy and enthusiasm immediately, if not sooner. And that's what they've done. They're playing fast. They're creating tempo.
1st and 10 again. McCoy rolls out, still going. Keeps the football and steps out of bounds at the 37, I think at the 35-yard line. A flag on the play. We'll check out the Phillips HD Fearless prediction here. First of all, for Texas.
Well, they want to set the alarm clock, and Mac Brown felt like the best way to set the alarm clock, get off to a fast start, was to go up tempo. And there's a penalty on Baylor, and that's going to be added to the conclusion of this play. And so Mac Brown's got exactly what he wanted. A little energy. It's an old Southwest Conference rivalry game. It's in-state, BCS implication, and no yards after catch. Baylor's wide receivers are outstanding in space once they catch the football, making people miss. Missouri missed 18 tackles that resulted in over 200 yards, and Texas doesn't want to let that happen, and Art Browse wants to see it again.
Late hit sets the ball at the 21-yard line, and McCoy looking for a block. A flag is thrown behind the play as McCoy out of bounds at the 19. Pickup of 2 if the play stands.
Got a hold on Texas. It's going to bring it back.
First up.
And when you get down near the red zone, you do not want to have self-destruct holding penalties.
Let's take a look now at the Phillips HD Fearless predictions for Baylor.
Well, Baylor offensively, celebrate a 4-yard run. Be productive, but you have to be unpredictable. I think Art Browse will go for it on 4th down some. He'll probably have 4 or 5 gadget plays and bear downhill. The Baylor Bears, when they run the football, they have to run it downhill at that fast Texas defense and anchor them. Keep those shoulder pads square to the line of scrimmage and get after them a little bit, and that's going to be on Terrence Ganaway's shoulders.
1st and 20 from the 31 following the penalty. And again, they come back to a lot of Cody Johnson. Johnson, he's not as much as he used to be. He's around 260 before he dropped 20 pounds. He's picked up some speed. He's also picking up more carries as a result.
Well, when I look at him, he's down to about 240 pounds. He's got feet like Jerome Bettis. He's one of those big backs that has very, very agile feet. And he's got 9 rushing touchdowns. He's great in the red zone, and he's great on short yardage and goal line situations. You have a big guy that hammers it up in there. That's an offensive lineman's dream. 9
touchdowns on the ground. That was just his 5th reception of the season, though, as it's 2nd and 17. McCoy across the middle. It is complete. Velko fingers that time on the grab, And an outstanding one it was for Buckner. Buckner with his 34th reception of the season.
Well, Buckner is kind of like a split tight end. You know, I mean, 6'4", 210 pounds fingertip catch. I mean, that's beautiful. Just secure it, bring it back into your body. Colt McCoy puts it where he can make a play on it. Again, that's trust. The receiver has to realize he's not leading me into a defensive player. I got to go get this football because he was exposed. He was vulnerable. But Colt McCoy put it where he could make the play.
Pardon me, Dave. 22 yards in the pickup. First and goal from the 6, and that usually means a lot of dosage of Cody Johnson as Johnson gets the tote here. Johnson, the best in the country as far as scoring a touchdown every 6.1 carries. But today getting more action. He used to be he was getting into that red zone stuff. Now he starts the game.
And really, this is key for Texas. They wanted to get off to that fast start, the good start. You get down here inside the 5-yard line, you want 7, not settling for 3.
Second and goal from the 3. McCoy. Oh, almost picked off, trying to hook up with Shipley. And Pavelic is the one that had the hand on a football.
Yeah, he got a nice drop. He wasn't fooled by the play-action pass very quickly at all. He comes, and then he gets back into his zone very quickly, gets the left hand up. Pavelic did a nice job of reading the fact that it was play-action pass, trying to get it to Shipley. Pavelic says no. If Pavelic doesn't get his hand up there, he's got a touchdown right there because Byron Lander is beaten inside on that one.
Pavelic, who had 6 interceptions last year as a first-team all-conference player, just 1 pick this year, missed an opportunity there. Third and goal, the first third down on this drive, and it's a touchdown. Surprise, surprise, Jordan Shipley. Shipley, his 7th receiving touchdown of the season as Colt McCoy delivers once again for McCoy his 18th TD pass of the year.
Let's take a look at it one more time. You know, you run a little pivot route, you find yourself available. Jordan Shipley comes across the front line of the goal line. Great read by his cohort, Colt McCoy, and he knows Jordan Shipley is going to be his check down guy, and he delivers a beauty.
Hunter Lawrence for the PAT, and it is good. He continues his impressive season as he is 42 of 43. And Texas, up-tempo, I guess. Texas Longhorns strike quickly. McCoy with the 3-yard TD pass. And 11:18 to go in the first quarter. And now Texas will kick it off. The Phillips HD scoring drive, very impressive for the Longhorns. And the kick inside the 5 and out to the 27-yard line.
Well, let's take a look at it. Football's all about mismatches. Shipley, and watch the linebacker here, the linebacker Antonio Jones. And watch, he finds the linebacker underneath. That's a mismatch. He's just going to continue on the shallow cross. Linebacker Antonio Jones doesn't press it. You know, by the time the reaction is made by Antonio Johnson at the linebacker position, I mean, it's way too late. So Shipley gets his 7th touchdown reception of the season. Colt McCoy's eyes get big. He saw his receiver working against linebackers.
Terrence Williams return for Baylor, sets him up at the 28. You see the numbers for freshman quarterback Nick Florence out of Garland, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. South Garland High School. A little pitch and catch to start Baylor on its way. And nearly a first down on the first pitch as Shockey Brown makes the tackle. We'll take a look at our Phillips HD starting lineup for the Bears up front. James Bernard making his 34th consecutive start for the senior out of Overland Park, Kansas, here on a senior day. Kendall Wright, their leading receiver. Geddes is also a game breaker. And here they come to the near sideline as Thomas and Brown make the play on Sampson. Sampson's a freshman out of Mesquite, Texas. And Phillips HD starting lineup for the Texas Longhorn defense. Kindle, Randall Houston, and Acho Houston with a couple of sacks last week. Williams actually a DB. They'll be going 2 backers. Ernest gets the start today instead of McElroy, who's a bit banged up. And Earl Thomas, their leading interceptor, with 6 on the year. So first and 10 at the 45, and Baylor, like Texas, coming out quickly on its first possession. Florence with the handoff, Finley, and Finley is stopped at the 47-yard line as far as forward motion. Keenan Robinson there
trying to come downhill and run on that Texas Longhorn defense, which is stout to say the least. Giving up only 55 yards a game, 1.8 a carry. Get off the block and come downhill and close to the line of scrimmage. Excellent job by Keenan Robinson at the linebacker position.
Second down play, stretching the field to the sideline, and the pass completed to Kendall Wright. The sophomore from Pittsburgh, Texas, is brought down by Ernest Wright. 50 receptions coming in, 7th in the Big 12.
Well, watch what happens here. And Kendall Wright comes in motion. Watch the block that Ernest Smith, number 3. Look at that block on the perimeter. I mean, they've run 3 wide receiver screens out of different formations in their first 4 plays. The key is wide receivers blocking for their teammates on those wide receiver screens. Earlier in the drive, Kendall Wright threw a great block on the perimeter. What does the receiver do without the ball in his hands? And this offense is big.
And a third down. And on the ground, and good to move the chains once again as Ernest makes the tackle, but not before Baylor and Ganaway are able to move it.
Ganaway, 6 feet, 240 pounds, coming downhill. And let's look at this Texas defense. First in the country against the rush. First in total yards. 8th in points allowed, under 13 points. And this is the one, 23% on third down. 33% is a great number. 23% is unheard of. The Baylor Bears convert on that third down, which is big. Third down's huge in this game for Baylor offensively.
Texas last week held Central Florida to 151 yards of offense and winning easily 35-3. Baylor going deep. Oh my, nearly a sensational catch, and a flag is thrown as Sampson had it knocked away and then nearly took the bobble into the end zone.
Curtis Brown interference.
On a defense number 3. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Curtis Brown didn't really find the football, and Curtis Brown had the collision. You know, you can, there's no problem. You can face start in college football, but you can't contact the receiver before the arrival of the football. And Lanier Sampson, he had a solid game for himself last week as well. He had 5 catches for 85 yards against Missouri. Geddes had over 108 catches for 100. Kendall Wright had 10 for 149. And Sampson had 5 for 85. That's distributing the ball to all your weapons, and Art Browse knows how to do that.
How about that camera work? The FSN boys on their game early here. 1st and 10 from the 28 with 8:42 to go first quarter. Baylor's first possession following the penalty. A look in, and inside the 20 is David Geddes, the senior out of Los Angeles, and Earl Thomas makes the tackle.
And Geddes, 6'4", 215 pounds. Talked about yak. Watch the wide receivers block, though. Look at him out there blocking. And here comes a big lineman to throw a block. You know, and you get David Geddes out there at 6'4", 215 with track speed. That's tough to make a tackle after the catch. And right now, Art Browse and his staff doing a good job of getting the Baylor wideouts in space and others throwing blocks for him.
And Florence is 4-4 so far today. Texas seen that defense challenged. It's a 2nd and 1 now at the 19-yard line. And that'll be a first down again. This time Jay Finley, the junior from Corsicana, Texas, stopped by Keenan Robinson. Finley coming in 258 yards on the season rushing.
He's been battling a high ankle sprain almost all season. Those are hard to get over. By definition, the tibia and fibula split. They pull apart, and there's a lot of damage in there. Art Browse scheming against Will Muschamp. A couple of very, very good play caller on both sides of it. Extraordinaire offensively and defensively. Andrew Judy, big block on that short yardage run.
Empty backfield here, 1st and 10 as Florence waiting again for the signal. Play clock winding down, gets it off. Florence in trouble here. Throws it and complete. I don't know if he was trying to throw it away or not, but Dave, he finds a leaping receiver, and the catch brings it down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, Florence, he's just trying to buy himself some time, and that's just an unbelievable throw. To get it over one and in front of the other, I mean, in front of over a leaping Shockey Brown, and to get that into a tight window, I mean, Florence put that ball into a very tight window. 1st and goal for Baylor, answering the 10-play, 80-yard drive of the Longhorns.
Willie Jefferson, a freshman from Beaumont Ozen, in his 4th reception of the season. He's going, Coach, you need to pitch it to me a little more often.
The ruling on the field that the receiver went out on his own and was first to touch the forward pass.
Now, if the receiver ran out of bounds on his own volition and came back, Willie Jefferson can't catch the football. And the reason that Florence went high to Willie Jefferson, he is 6'6". Watch it up here at the top. Does he run out of bounds on his own volition and then come back into the field to play? Now, that looks like it's a good play. 6'6", 210. And let's take a look at what Florence does here. And Baylor doing a good job of chop blocking. That'll aggravate some defensive linemen. He gets both feet down. It didn't look like he stepped out of bounds, came back into the field to play. Let's take a look at the top of the screen. Does he ever step out of bounds? It looks like he's in the field to play. He never stepped out. Is that left foot in play? I think it is. I think that'll be a good catch. All 6 foot 6 inches of Willie Jefferson got airborne, and you know, Florence said, I'm going to put it up where my guy can get it. Now, he got chucked coming off the line of scrimmage. Mac Brown thought that he went out of bounds after he got chucked when he continued his route. I'm not sure he ever stepped out of bounds during the course of his route.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. And again, folks need to remember, of course, that it's got to be overwhelming evidence that the call on the field should be overturned.
But Texas, it's on the Texas sideline. They're looking right down the sideline, and they felt like that left foot was in the chalk, and that he came back in the field to play. And once you step out of bounds your own volition, you cannot be the first person to touch the ball when you come back in the field to play. Did he step out or not?
Well, we'll get a ruling here, it appears.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Completed catch. The runner did not go out of bounds and was first to touch. Texas will be charged their first charged team timeout of the first half, and they are unable to challenge the rest of the ball game.
How about the composure of Nick Florence, though, Dave? Clock winded down, everything else. This guy's playing like a seasoned veteran. 5 of 5 for 43 yards.
And he's a true freshman. I mean, last year he was riding the yellow school bus going to the senior prom, and here he is competing against a defense that's #1 in the country in a lot of categories. And I'm telling you, man, this kid graduated #2 in his class. He's got plenty of intelligence.
First and goal to go from the 5-yard line. The handoff, not much doing that time as they keep it right in the middle to Ganaway, and Robinson and crew are there to make the stop. Ganaway, 48 carries, 169 yards, 3.5 per carry, coming in with 4 TDs.
Well, here's Judy leading up in there, trying to pound it. And again, what Baylor wants to do is run right at Texas. They want the shoulder pads of the running back to be square to the line of scrimmage. Don't run sideways, east and west. Run north and south. Get down the football field with your shoulder pads square and attack that very active Texas defense and try to anchor it.
10th play of the drive. Second down and goal from the 4-yard line. Baylor's first possession. Florence, quick hitter, incomplete. Trying to connect that time with number 3, Ernest Smith, a senior from New Orleans. Smith, 29 receptions coming in today.
Aaron Williams did a great job of breaking the ball out of there. Aaron Williams back healthy now. He's been fighting injury, and he gets the left hand in there and disrupts it and timed it up simultaneous with the arrival of the football. Ernest Smith couldn't secure it. Williams ripped it out of there.
Keep an eye on the right side. That's where they send their top 2 receivers, Geddes and Wright, on a 3rd and goal from the 4.
And remember, Texas, 23% third down conversion defensively coming in. This is the biggest third down of this game.
They're bringing it. Florence, one-on-one in the end zone. And intercepted, picked off by Aaron Williams, the sophomore from Round Rock, Texas. His 2nd pick of the season, and what a deflator for Baylor.
Aaron Williams, the play before, he rakes the ball out of there. He times it perfectly and rips it out. This time Florence underthrows it just a little bit, and watch Williams go up and catch the ball at the apex. And he has such good position that the receiver cannot reverse roles. Ernest Smith cannot play defensive back and try to rip it out of there, because Aaron Williams has the inside position. He times his jump perfectly, catches the ball at the apex. Huge, huge takeaway. Texas, that's their 17th interception of the season. They were tied for 3rd in the country coming in. 17 picks, 27 takeaways, tied for 2nd in the country coming in. They've been a takeaway machine defensively.
Plus 11 in the turnover margin for the Longhorns, and gets them out of a very tough spot. And McCoy comes right back to Cody Johnson on a first down pass across the 25-yard line. Antonio Jones makes the tackle, and Byron Landor also there with junior out of Lake Charles, Louisiana for Baylor.
Up tempo again, Bill. Here they come. And the quick the no-huddle pass is knocked down to the turf. Immediately getting airborne and knocking the ball down was Tracy Robertson.
Robertson. Baylor defense trying to fire up now. Texas defense came up with a big play when it needed it. Now Baylor trying to do the same.
Well, you talk about bending but not breaking. The Texas defense bent all the way to the 3-yard line, but then they broke Baylor's back with an interception in the end zone.
McCoy across the middle, incomplete. Hit hard on the play was Greg Smith, the tight end, as Pavelic laying the lumber to him, the senior from San Antonio out of Smithson Valley High. The leading tackler coming in with 79.
Well, that's a big deal for Baylor on a couple of levels, Bill. A 3-and-out, plus the Texas defense has to go right back out there, and they're going to be tired after that long drive that netted no points.
Fourth and 4, and they will punt it away. This is Justin Tucker. And Williams on the receiving end at the 35-yard line. Stay tuned for a message from Gary Sinise and our friends at Golden Corral, thanking the thousands of brave men and women who preserve our freedom every day with a free meal at all 485 locations on November 16th.
Noticed that you asked for a ball for Kimberly Munley, who was, one of your I guess, partner that day, and was also one of the heroes of the tragedy. There's a lot going on surrounding the investigation, all those different kinds of things, but kind of shows the team that you guys are.
Yeah, we worked as a team. It wasn't me or her. It was a team effort. Neither one of us could have done it by ourselves. So if she wasn't in the hospital, I'm sure she would be out here with me.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it, and great work, guys.
Thanks, Emily, and thanks again to all of those involved in that effort and the support being given to the troops as well as the civilians, and thoughts and prayers still go out to the families of the victims, and what a horrible tragedy just down the road from here in Waco.
Yeah.
Pass complete to Sampson, and Sampson takes it out near the first down marker. Shockey Brown makes the tackle. Dave, Baylor had the ball 11 plays, 68 yards, 5.5 minutes on its first possession. They get a 3-and-out. Texas defense might be still trying to catch its breath a bit.
Yeah, I think that was a big factor. The defensive takeaway was huge, but then Colt McCoy and the offense go 1, 2, 3 and out, and here's the Texas defense back out in the field. Now they're going to have their conditioning test.
3rd and 1 from the 44. Lawrence changing the play for Baylor. The handoff, don't think. Ganaway got it.
Nope, I agree.
Lamar Houston leading the way, the senior out of Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Well, does Art Browse make a decision here on 4th and a skosh to go for it? I mean, we talked about productivity and then some unpredictability as well, and that's just downhill by Texas.
And then Florence tries to spin off of it as they did a quick hitter, and Dustin Ernest was there. They may measure, but I don't think so.
Will Muschamp saying that's ours. I mean, that's just a surge by this unbelievable defensive football team of Texas. Number 1 in the country, allowing a little over 55 yards a game, 1.8 a carry. And they stuff the quarterback sneak, and Florence tries to spin out of there, but they're saying, no way, Jose. And they get the football on 4 downs. That's like a takeaway. You lose the ball on 4 downs in the short field with this Texas offense. That is like a giveaway for Baylor and a takeaway for Texas.
So, Texas 1st and 10, getting into Baylor territory at the 44-yard line. McCoy fakes to Johnson, keeps himself, and Colt at the 41-yard line. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
Baylor felt like they had to be patient yet productive offensively, as well as unpredictable. And a way to be unpredictable is go for it on 4th down on your end of the field. and Texas was up to the task.
2nd and 7 for the Longhorns now. Johnson. Low to bring down, and he pushes to the 39-yard line. Phil Taylor and Trey Bryant make the tackle. Taylor, an interesting guy, 6'4", 355 out of Clinton, Maryland, the transfer from Penn State.
He sat out a year of football. He's just now rounding back into form. There's not a whole lot of people in America with his size and his ability to move, 6'4", 355, and he's not a big slug. He's got good feet, and it's hard to knock him off those feet.
Now 3rd down and 5 for Texas, and Texas 1 of 2 in 3rd down situations so far. Shipley, a leaping grab, and he hangs on. Jordan Shipley at the 18-yard line of Baylor with the reception.
Just an outstanding play, and the coverage was pretty good out there, but Shipley just jumps over it. I mean, it's amazing. He just, again, at the apex of the throw, Shipley makes the play.
Texas again, that up-tempo, not wasting any time. We're coming right back with Cody Johnson again, and Taylor makes the stop. Let's take a look at Shipley, who came in 3rd all-time in receptions with 207 for Texas.
Look at him climb the ladder right there. I mean, that's great body control, hang time. That's why Shipley and Colt McCoy, I talked about the trust that they have in the open. Shipley, McCoy could think he's covered, but I know my guy will make the play. I'm going to get it up in the air, and he'll make the contested catch for me. That's trust right there.
Saw the record-setting weekend he had last Saturday. There they come back to Shipley. Nearly breaks the tackle to go to the end zone, but it was brought down at the 6-yard line. Byron Lander makes the stop. Shipley got the first touchdown of this game, his 27th of his career. That's 2nd on Texas list as well.
Look at him keep that left knee off the ground. That's what was key there.
Right up the middle, bursting into the end zone. Touchdown, Cody Johnson. A flag is thrown.
Looks like the celebration is going to be curtailed. Looks like it's going against the Longhorns.
Legal substitution on a defense.
It's on Baylor.
Penalties declined. Touchdown.
Cody Johnson, his 10th TD of the season, and Texas answering, getting the ball back after the 4th down stop.
Little inside zone, you make your fit on your blocks, and you finish. And I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good hitter that came up to deliver the blow, Jordan Lake. That's a big man that's running downhill and delivering a blow himself, Cody Johnson. Pad level, low pad level wins.
6-yard TD run by Cody Johnson. The PAT is good as well, as Hunter Lawrence, the senior from Bernie, Texas, pops it through. Texas jumps out 14-zip. Texas 14, Baylor nothing. First quarter action. We'll take a look at the Big 12 South standings brought to you by Days Inn. Texas trying to take care of business today. Oklahoma State has got a big one with Tech today. Oklahoma and A&M also battle in all South matchups, brought to you by Days Inn. The kickoff here brought back by Williams, the 30, the 40, and the kicker brings him down, but not till he crosses midfield at the 47-yard line. Now for a Phillips HD game break, let's check in with... All right, thank you, Darren.
How about Johnson? How about Johnson down there at Georgia Tech? The job he's doing with that option offense they're running. Whew.
Yeah, phenomenal. And the days of the spread, everything goes in cycles, though, doesn't it? It seems like this one is a carry right up the middle to the 46-yard line.
You know, it's a good thing Tucker made that tackle on the kickoff, because he had a terrible kick. It was very returnable. He made the play to save the touchdown.
Yeah, and that's something we mentioned. Their special teams, they were not happy with some of their kick coverage last week in the victory over UCF.
And kick return.
Yeah.
They worked on it all week long real hard, gave it extra time.
Lawrence. Watch out! Oh, mama! He got popped on his own 45. Shockey Brown with a shocker of a tackle.
Shockey Brown has just electrifying speed. The long arms. Shockey Brown is just absolutely built to play in the National Football League. And here he comes. And Florence, it's his front side, but his read takes him immediately to the backside. Has his head turned the whole time. Never realizes Shockey Brown is on the way. And Shockey Brown will finish. He's got electrifying closing speed.
As a result, it is 3rd and 15 from the 41-yard line. Florence, little underthrown, trying to come back to the football with Smith. And they'll kick it away here. Texas up 14-zip, 32 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Baylor will have a pretty strong breeze at its back for the punt before the end of the quarter, as head coach Art Briles in his second year, after great success down at the University of Houston, where he took them to 4 bowls and had a record of 34-28.
Talking to his young quarterback Florence, saying, you know, in that cornerback blitz like that, you have to have a sight adjust. The receiver's going to be open. The safety has to come over the top to cover him. We got to be able to pick that up.
High kick by Epperson. Take it back on the 2. Shipley dances across the 10. Shipley, a terrific return to get it to near the 16-yard line. And we'll operate there. Let's take a look at the Big 12.
If they believe in what he's selling up there, they're buying it all. And it is. It's throw it in the bag, shake it up. You know, if Nebraska could get some consistency offensively, you know, they could win it. Everybody has a hole in their game in some phase of it in the Big 12 North.
Keep you updated. K-State's at home against Missouri today, trying to protect that lead. Trey Newton across the 20. And Newton suffered from a concussion, is back in the lineup, getting some carries. Newton coming in with 4.7 per carry, 3 touchdowns on the year. Redshirt freshman out of South Lake Carroll in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Nate Newton's son, Big Daddy Nate, has to be proud of him. That's a slasher right there. He gets after it.
That's the end of the first quarter. College Football Saturday, presented by Phillips HD. Texas with a pair of TDs, 14-0 leader. After one quarter in Waco, we check out the DirecTV game summary. And Colt McCoy on the opening drive took care of business with a TD pass to Shipley. Then Cody Johnson took over. Johnson 44 yards rushing already today. That's what he had for the entire week last week. And then the defense, the story as well.
Well, Baylor goes on an 11-play drive. The 9th play stuffed on the run. The 10th play, unbelievable effort right there by Aaron Williams. And then he's better on the 11th play. Underthrown football, he times his jump perfectly and picks it off. Baylor goes on an 11-play drive against this vaunted Texas defense and comes up with no points because of turnover. Killer. And then they gave the ball up on 4 downs, short field for Texas, and they took advantage.
Yards per play, huge. Cody Johnson gets the carry here. Johnson, 44 yards rushing prior to that. He had 10 for 44 in the win against Central Florida. Taylor and crew stop him here. So it shows you the confidence that they're gaining in him and giving him a big shot here today.
Well, they're trying to get that running game going, Bill. And they're being more balanced with their offensive attack today. And we'll talk about what they consider a successful run after this snap.
His best day, 15 carries, 70 yards in the opener against ULM from Louisiana, as Johnson here takes it and rolls. See where they spot. Looks like it's going to be a first down. Yep, that'll move the chains as Mike Hicks, a freshman, makes the tackle.
Fake the ball to Johnson and then make him the primary receiver. The linebackers turn around and lose eyesight with him. Bill Walsh was the first guy to do that. Throw the football to the back that you fake it to, because the linebackers turn their backs and take a deep drop in play action passing. And Cody Johnson picks up nice yards. Nice little check down by Colt McCoy.
3rd reception for Cody Johnson. He had 4 on the season coming in, so there's a little different look. And this one nearly picked off, but Hicks scooped it up off the turf.
Well, he made a good route recognition, made a good break on the football, but the ball splits his hands. He doesn't make the catch. Final thing you have to do is secure the pig, and he doesn't. Knocks it to the turf, takes a gratuitous bounce right up into his belly, but it's not an interception once it ricochets off that turf.
So it's 2nd down and 10 now for the Longhorns, up 14-0. Fake to Johnson, McCoy, room to operate. And then a good tackle made coming out of the secondary. Landor fought off that blocker and stopped McCoy from having a big gainer, Dave.
Zone read, and watch everybody react to the big boy Johnson. And there's Colt McCoy out there saying, he had a blocker that had cleared a little path for him, cut it up inside of Kirkendall's block. Colt McCoy took it to the outside and got stoned as a result of it. Pretty good job coming off the block, making the hit by Lander.
McCoy last year ran for 490, well, a sophomore, he ran for 492 yards and 4 touchdowns. Here's Colt back to throw it. In trouble. Got rid of it. Oh, Buckner, another superb catch. And he rolls to across midfield and near the 48-yard line before Lander forces him out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you create and extend plays. That's what Colt McCoy does here, and he throws a knuckleball. This looked like Hoyt Wilhelm. Throws the knuckleball to avoid the sack, and that's just an outstanding effort. I mean, it's going to be Velcro on Dan Buckner's fingertips. He's made 2 great catches. Remember the catch he made in the red zone? Full extension, fingertip catch for Colt McCoy. That time with the left mucker, making a fingertip catch. Amazing. 25
offensive plays, 10 of them have gone for first downs for this Texas O. And Newton with the carry here inside the 45-yard line for Trey Newton. And Antonio Jones making the stop.
You got a nice little dynamic going on between Johnson and Newton. A nice change of pace at that running back position.
The handoff again to Johnson. Boy, in Texas, with the quickness of the play calling and the up-tempo, Baylor doesn't have much of an opportunity to make any kind of substitution change.
Well, this is a great move by Mack Brown and his coaching staff, and Art Briles is trying to make an adjustment to it defensively. Against Central Florida, they came out and they stalled early in the game. So Mack Brown, Coach Davis, the offensive coordinator, Greg Davis, and everybody said, let's go up-tempo. That'll make sure we set the alarm clock. Everybody's going to be creating tempo, creating energy, and Texas has been on the roll ever since. Great adjustment.
On a 3rd and 4 flag thrown as McCoy taking the snap. It'll be a procedure.
On the offense, number 64, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Little early jump up front, little flinch by Kyle Hicks.
Hey, Lapp, you were talking about Texas offense wanting to go up-tempo. Well, throughout the week, in order to prepare for this 11 a.m. kick, Mack Brown text messaged his players throughout the morning. He'd text message them at 6 o'clock and say, this is when you're supposed to be waking up. 7 o'clock, this is when we'll be leaving the hotel. 8 o'clock, this is when we'll be eating our pregame meal, to get them in that mindset to be ready for this 11 a.m. kick, because they did come out, as you mentioned, slow last week against UCF.
And the players are grateful that they don't need their alarm clock anymore, right?
Yeah, that was a nice adjustment, too. You know, I like this little bunch look right here.
On a 3rd and 10, McCoy across the middle, and Kirkendall is brought down at the 45-yard line. It'll be a 4th and long coming up for Texas as Pavelic making the stop. Pavelic coming in with a career total of 392 tackles.
Watch how this unfolds. I thought there'd be something right there for an immediate little receiver screen. Then the shallow cross. Baylor does a good job of squeezing it back toward the line of scrimmage. Had to run that route so shallow that there was no way they were going to convert on 3rd down. Nice defensive effort by Baylor, recognizing what was going on and pressing the issue.
So time to kick it away. And John Gold, junior from Palestine, Texas, trying to put it in that coffin corner. It'll be a touchback, come back out to the 20-yard line. And Texas with a 14-0 lead. Baylor getting possession again. 14-0 Texas, the lead, 10:44 to go here in the half. Don't forget,
I mean, he's had some big days.
It's 1st and 10 here from the 20. Baylor with Florence, empty backfield. Incomplete, intended for Kendall Wright. Emmanuel Acho there. Dallas, 6'3", 235. He's got 10 tackles for loss, 3 fumble forced, and a couple of fumble recoveries.
Yeah, he's the brother of Sam. The Acho brothers they've recovered 6 fumbles collectively. They forced 4 collectively. They've been active, have those Acho brothers.
2nd and 10 here. Baylor trying to get something going. On the ground, and Finley near the 23 before Easton Randall, sophomore from Beaumont out of Kelly High School, makes the tackle.
You know, it's hard to get big plays against this Texas defense, Bill, because of their recoverability speed. We saw the 11-play drive, you know, grinding out pretty well. That's tough to do as well. But 500, almost 600 plays now. They've only given up 15 plays of 20 yards or more. 15 in 600 snaps. Only 4 of them 30 yards or more. This defense has such great recoverability speed, it's tough to gash them for big numbers.
Yeah, even when they make a mistake, that speed allows them many times to recover. Baylor gets it here, 1 of 4 in third down situations. And that's why that opening drive for Baylor was such a downer, that you maintain possession, you're patient,
right?
You got a chance to score, and you get nothing out of it because the turnover across the middle. And there's another example. It looked like Wright was open, but catching up quickly on the play, Aaron Williams.
Well, Texas has only given up 9 touchdowns all year, and 2 of those touchdowns came on long drives. Let's take a look at this. Down the middle of the football field, the coverage is splendid. I mean, Williams is playing at an exceptionally high level. That's his second pass defense. He's got an interception, and he is just all over it, playing that, you know, just great football. 6'1", 190 pounds, big and can run.
Texas coming on, cannot get it. Flag is thrown, and Baylor's going to get another opportunity as Aaron Williams makes
let's
the play, I believe.
Let's see if it's running into or roughing. If he hit the plant leg, it's roughing. If he hit the kicking leg, it's running into. And it's a difference.
4th and 7.
A 5-yard penalty won't give them the first down. The other is a personal foul. It's an automatic first down. Is it running into or roughing?
Making that determination now.
Running into the kicker on the defense. Penalties decline. First down, Texas. Timeout on the field.
So Texas again will get excellent field position. They almost got the block. They'll have it on their own 47 when we come back here in Waco. BC Stadium in Waco, Texas. The Longhorns ranked number 3 BCS-wise, number 2, and the ratings are leading it 14-0. Bill Land, Dave Lapham, Emily Jones. Glad to have you with us with Texas. Great field position again. 1st and 10 from the 47. And it's complete to Childs. Childs tries to break it down the sideline near the first down. And now for a Phillips HD game break, we'll check in with Aaron Horton.
Today, Iowa and Ohio State.
And Trey Newton says, I'll give you a touchdown. 43-yard scamper for the Texas running back. His 4th TD of the year. His longest run of the year, and Texas tacks on 6 more.
Just an outstanding effort of pressing the line of scrimmage, make somebody miss, and then just turn on the burners. Great vision, great patience, and that's the 35th play of 20 yards or more. Actually, there's a couple of others. It's probably approaching 40 plays of 20 yards or more for this explosive Texas offense.
And the PAT. Hunter Lawrence is also good. And Trey Newton with the TD for Texas, 21-0.
Stanley asked.
Thank you, Darren. Here, Baylor in deep trouble, 21-0 with 9:20 to go in the half, and Texas getting that 46-yard touchdown run from Trey Newton, and a 2-play, 17-second drive. It was your quick offense.
Yeah, 4th touchdown rushing for Trey Newton.
And this one will be down on the kickoff by Williams. And let's take a look at that touchdown run again by Newton.
Well, it's an inside zone play, Bill. Watch the fast flow by the Baylor defense initially. Okay, now the cutback lane. Right here, he sees this. I mean, that's huge. Now all of a sudden, now you have to come make the unblocked guy miss. A little dipsy-do, woo, make you miss, and now I'm off to the races. See you later. I mean, in space, sitting right there was Mike Hicks, and Hicks missed.
So Florence and crew spread them out here. 3 wideouts to the near side on a 1st and 10. And There's not much doing against that running game as Texas is only allowing 52.9 yards per game on the ground, tops in the country. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% off brand names every day at Overstock.com. That's Overstock.com at home with the O. Second down, and Kindle is there to make the stop for Texas as Sergio Kindle saying no way on the carry by Ganaway.
And this is where Texas really gets at. Look at the penetration. Look at them coming after it at the line of scrimmage. And when Texas gets you in this type of scenario where you're looking at tackles for loss, quarterback sacks, and they get you off schedule, 3rd and 15 or longer is not where you want to be against Will Muschamp in his defensive pressure packages. Now Texas will pin their ears back.
Baylor on the day, 11 carries, 1 yard rushing. Texas 15 for 119. A loss of 8 there. Lawrence. Incomplete. A pretty good pass into double coverage and unable to come up with it near the 35-yard line as Deion Beasley was out there among the coverage.
Well, the Baylor on their first drive of the game, Bill, they won 11 plays. It was only the 4th time this year that the Texas defense had given up a drive of 11 plays or longer. Baylor goes 11 plays, gets nothing, interception. Oklahoma won 11 plays, missed a field goal. Texas Tech won 11 plays, scored a touchdown. Missouri won 12 plays and scored a touchdown. So 2 of those long extended drives resulted in no points.
They come after Epperson again, and they got it. And it stops at the rolls to the 27 out near the 30-yard line. Last time they got a running into penalty. This time they got ball. And Derek Epperson, who is the number 2 punter in the nation, no chance there as Vaccaro and crew came through.
Well, this is why Art Browse declined the penalty, because right there it's jailbreak. I mean, once you hit the football, it doesn't matter if you run into the punter or not. And that is the 66th block kick in the Mack Brown era. And I mean, you're just getting after it with flat-out speed and laying out to block the punt. Kenny Vaccaro, he just laid out and had a perfect aiming point, and he got a piece of that action.
16-yard punt, 1st and 10 at the 29 now, and Texas comes back on the ground game. Cody Johnson.
I do like that little mix, Bill, of Newton and Johnson.
Yeah, I think they found something.
Johnson hammers you, softens you up, and then Newton comes in there and slashes and dashes and makes you miss.
Johnson picked up 2. Play action here. McCoy rolling out and has to throw it away.
That's a very smart play by Colt McCoy.
Jason Lamb putting the pressure on him, the senior from Richardson, Texas, the Dallas area out of Berkner High School. Came in with 6 tackles for loss. Couldn't get one there, though, as McCoy, again, Dave mentioning, smart, great citizen, heck of a player. We were talking last night about thinking back to him as a freshman.
Yeah.
A kid.
Yep.
He's a grown man now, not only physically, but mentally so mature.
He came in, he could bench press 225, 2 reps, Bill. Now he does 16. Now he does 16.
3rd and 8 here. Oh, and Shipley got racked just as the ball got there, and a flag comes in, and Shipley is down.
Yeah, defenseless receiver deal, head-to-head blow. Can't take target those defenseless receivers and crush them like that.
Oh, he was hit.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting on a defense number 13. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Anytime you see that, apparently just had the wind knocked out of him. And let's hope that's all as he finally popped up pretty quick after being down.
Well, the call was on Tracy Robertson taunting right there.
Yeah, it was not a late hit.
Right. It was the fact that he got up and made a gesture and had something to say about the hit. Shipley's okay. He's a tough character.
That's just foolish on the part of Baylor. You got a tough enough task here today, taking on the nation's 3rd-ranked team in BCS standings, and you go do that. And not only that, you do that to Jordan Shipley?
Yeah.
Are you nuts?
You got to take yourself off your schedule today. Texas is good enough. You don't need to be on your schedule too.
So 1st and 10. Newton trying to ride that blocker. Nice job defensively that time by the Bears as Patan makes the tackle. Earl Patan.
Well, Texas came with a counter. They pulled the backside lineman, and Baylor strung that out beautifully. Nowhere to go. Made him bounce it east and west instead of coming up, squaring the shoulder pads up, going north and south. Coach Norwood happy with the result of that defensive snap.
Hey, you got to love the enthusiasm of your defense. You got to be able to control yourself there. 2nd and 12 now. Loss of 2 that time for Newton. And the ball at the 15-yard line with Texas already leading 21-0. McCoy, plenty of time here, and incomplete. And another flag is thrown. Tim Atchison was covering on the play.
Man, that's just crazy. That's self-destruction.
He did the same thing, I believe, Dave.
Malcolm Williams, and that's his problem. I mean, Atchison makes a great play, and then he gets up, and that's taunting. I mean, you know, all you do is you walk away. You don't taunt, you don't say anything. You just walk away.
So that'll give them a 1st and goal. Well, let's see. Yeah, 1st and goal.
What they're all about is
3rd down. 3rd down.
Reinforcing sportsmanship.
All right, we'll sort it out when we come back with a timeout on the field and 6:46 remaining in the half. (21-0) Texas leading Baylor here, and following that penalty, I was wrong. It's not 1st and goal. It's 3rd and 4. The ball will be on the 7-yard line of Baylor for Texas. Here's another look, Dave.
Well, Atchison does a great job and gets his hand in there. Malcolm Williams can't pull the ball away. Atchison, you know, all he's doing is showing some exuberance and signaling incomplete. And the rule, the letter of the rule is you can flag that. I don't know. To me,
is it a matter?
You got to hopefully. Maybe he said something. We don't know what's being said down there, and the officials can they hear even what's being said. But man, I don't know. You're happy about an incompletion, you signal it.
So McCoy tries to strike. Shipley says, "Take that, touchdown Texas." Shipley, who had the wind knocked out of him, may have just knocked the wind out of Baylor with that one, as he gets his 2nd TD of the afternoon, his 8th receiving touchdown of the season, his 10th overall, and Texas gets another 6.
Here he is. Watch him run his route, and he already shows the toughness. It's the back corner of the end zone. Does a nice job of reading coverage. Jeremy Williams can't hang with him. He's a tough customer, boy.
So Hunter Lawrence will come on for the PAT, and it is good. Texas with 6:41 to go in the half, rolling at 28-0 over Baylor. All right, Texas ready to kick it off here with the Longhorns up comfortably 28-0. McCoy with a TD pass, his 2nd of the day, both to Shipley. And Texas taking advantage of, first of all, the block punt that limited the punt to 16 yards, and then 2 penalties that set them up for the TD pass to Shipley. Now the return, Williams out to the 18-yard line. Take a look at the Phillips HD scoring drive for University of Texas that Baylor has aided in a number of those now, and the 59th scoring drive, 34th under 3 minutes for Texas this year.
Texas is hitting their stride at a very, very good time. Colt McCoy is playing his best football of the year at an opportune time, both for his team and for him individually, as he makes a push for his Heisman Trophy candidacy.
Texas trying to break the goals down for the season. We'll talk about that in a second here. The pass incomplete intended for Geddes. Matt Brown telling us that trying to keep it in perspective. He told his team, all right, win the Big 12 South. What do you got to do? You got to win the next 2. You should be able to get up for Texas A&M, your most hated rival on Thanksgiving, regardless of the stake. Then you say, all right, Big 12 title game.
Yeah.
You win that, you get to play for the national championship.
Right.
And I think it's kind of the right way to keep it in perspective, other than just saying take them one at a time.
No question. And he called the Big 12 South Championship his goal. Then long-term was Big 12 Championship. Then the dream goal was the National Championship. And that's the way to do it. Have that pie-in-the-sky dream, but reward yourself along the way and climb that ladder of success.
Second down and 10. Florence in trouble, and he is brought down. No, the pass is incomplete.
Houston had him.
Yeah, and then Kendall Wright nearly made the grab on the pass. Houston, the near ankle tackle.
Well, he gets another quarterback pressure. He had 25 coming in, as did Sergio Kendall, and he clips his feet right there, and he knocks his feet together. That's a great job by Florence, though, to keep his head about him and realize I can just shot put that thing forward. Did the ground help Wright secure that football? They may, I don't know if they have time to take another look at it or not, but pretty good effort by Florence.
Third and 10 as they do not stop the game, and Florence somehow spins out of that hit, but not that one, as he's brought down by Lamar Houston. So Houston said, all right, I almost got you last time, and Ernest also there.
Yeah, and Acho missed. Acho was the first one, and Acho says, I got you. Oh, no, I threw at you and I missed. And then Houston says, I get another shot at you? I'm getting you this time. But the pressure is severe. Now the Texas Longhorns are pinning their ears back because they know by score Baylor has to throw.
And how nervous is Epperson kicking out of his end zone after the last two times Texas coming after him?
And he coming into today's game leading the Big 12, second in the nation, averaging almost 46 a punt.
Yeah, 45.7. Just did get this one off, and Shipley, he's going to take it. Got a nice little bounce. Circles the wagons. The 40, watch out, Shipley midfield. And Jordan Shipley to the 45-yard line of Baylor. And Pabelik makes the tackle and send it down to Emily Jones.
Well, guys, we've been talking all season long about Mac Brown using different things for motivation, and this may be the biggest case in point right here. I'm with Lieutenant Colonel Greg Gadsden. Lost both of your legs to a roadside bombing in Iraq a couple of years ago. It served as a catalyst for some of your old Army teammates. You played linebacker there. One of those, Will Muschamp's brother, which is why you're here today.
Yes, Emily?
Yes,
right. Yeah, just to really kind of shows you how small, how small the world is, and how, how interconnected we are. And like I said, Will Muschamp, I played with his brother Pat, and we were able to kind of help facilitate the link up with me coming down to Texas.
You're serving as an honorary coach today. A couple years ago, you spoke to a New York Giants team that at the time was 0-2. They went on to do something pretty special and win the Super Bowl, so you must be good luck, right?
I don't believe in luck. These guys have to go out and play the game, and they got to do it. So it's, maybe sometimes other folks can show people, what opportunities they have, and just kind of making sure that they take full advantage of every chance they have in life. So.
Well, you addressed the team last night. I heard it was remarkable. On behalf of everyone, thank you so much for your service and for all you've done.
Sure, Emily, thanks.
Guys.
Yeah, we all echo that. Thank you so much, Emily. And more on that in a second. The flag brings it back here. Mac Brown throughout the season has brought in various military people to visit with his team, trying to paint a bigger picture to his young guys. Of course, he visited over there during the offseason. And Baylor is also doing a lot of things in light, particularly with what happened at Fort Hood, that it's great that people are showing so much appreciation for our military.
There is no foul on the play. Game clock is corrected, 5:16.
Well, there was an incomplete pass to Shipley, and there was a hold on it, so it's now 1st and 20. But I agree. I mean, Baylor's wearing, Fort Hood decals on their helmets for the rest of the season, and Lieutenant Colonel Gadsden is he's a Norman Rockwell portrait of courage, perseverance. I mean, this guy, you talk about having to overcome adversity. My goodness, it just makes all your problems seem awfully small.
Sure does. Here's Cody Johnson. Takes a small hole and widens it as he drives all the way across the 40 down to the 37-yard line. And Texas Moving quickly into scoring opportunities again.
Well, the old counter play, pull the backside guard and tackle, and Greg Davis is liking his running game. They hammer another one up in there. Well, they're going up tempo still. They are no huddle period. They feel like they've got the Baylor Bears back on their heels because of the tempo instead of on their toes, and they are staying after it. They ran the counter, and then they just ran an inside zone and picked up a first down when it was 1st and 20. So now Greg Davis and Mack Brown are saying, hey, we're getting this running game going now, guys.
And Cody Johnson, he's 12 for 75 yards, his best day of the season. And we're still in the first half. John Childs knocked out of bounds around the 27-yard line. Tim Atchison there for the Baylor Bears. 4:23. Clock still moving here in the first half.
You know, you look at Childs, Bill, and you think, hey, Kerry Meyer at Kansas learned to play the receiver position from the perspective of a quarterback. So is Childs. Will Childs down the road be a big-time receiver like Kerry Meyer because of all his familiarity about coverages and all that understanding as a former quarterback?
Been a big adjustment for him, especially just the running and conditioning game. As McCoy, Kirkendall, little room to operate, makes one miss and goes to the 17-yard line. Antonio Jones made the tackle after Jeremy Williams couldn't bring him down, and a flag is thrown.
Roughing the quarterback.
Unnecessary roughness on a defense, number 90. Hitting the player out of the play. Half the distance of the goal. First down.
Nicholas Jean-Baptiste, and
he took a shot on Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy got unceremoniously dumped at the conclusion of the play.
.345 and moving here, and it's a first down and goal to go from the 9-yard line for Texas with a 28-0 lead. Longhorns first in the conference in scoring at 41.8 per game, third nationally, having a heyday here this afternoon. Johnson stretching it out. Johnson to the 5. Johnson down near the pylon. Going to be stopped, looks like around the 1 or inside there. Antonio Johnson, the tackler on Cody Johnson.
Looks like there's a flag out there, and I wonder if it's a face mask. He got grabbed by the grill, and I think that's what took place.
Personal foul, face mask on a defense, number 21. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Coming into today's game, Texas was 67% in the red zone touchdown percentage. And here's the grab, and definitely grabbed the grill and tried to pull. And Antonio Johnson, the linebacker, is the one that gets flagged on that. They scored a touchdown 2 out of every 3 opportunities in the red zone. They're not hurting themselves this afternoon with the way they're scoring fast and furiously. Some red zone, some not.
Baylor, penalties, giving them virtually no chance to stop Texas at this point. They had like 4 in the last couple of possessions, and it's a first and goal from the 1.
Timeout, Texas. First charge of the first half. 30-second timeout. Excuse me, second charge timeout. 30-second.
They lost one on the challenge.
Yeah, so they'll talk it over here with 2:53 to go. Mack Brown and the Longhorns trying to get their 10th win. They've had 9 straight years of 10 wins at University of Texas. Best in the country. And Colt McCoy, we talked so much about his numbers and his great play on the field. The guy literally does everything on and off the field, Dave.
Yeah, and he's a finalist for the Campbell Trophy. Used to be the Dratty Award, the Academic Heisman, a 3-time academic All-Big 12, and the Good Works team as well. He's everything. Time management, he's got figured out. He's got brains. He's got athletic ability. This guy not only will be a success on Sunday, he'll be a success in life, whatever he decides to do, because he has not changed one iota with all the stardom. He's the same guy. That speaks volumes.
He also holds 45 school records at UT on the field as Johnson powers his way in, and Texas, another touchdown for the Longhorns, and Cody Johnson gets his second of the afternoon. Newton also has 1, and Shipley has 2.
Well, nothing fancy here. Just get off the line of scrimmage, get a low pad level, and establish something. Little ISO, lead blocking. I'll tell you what, who's a heck of a blocker for the Longhorns, Antoine Cobb. And he'll bring the wood now when he comes downhill and blocks. And he'll play special teams, recover kicks, valuable for the Longhorns.
Hunter Lawrence for the PAT, and it is perfect as well. And Texas with a 35-0 lead. Johnson with a score.
There's Cobb getting his little kick-out block and lower the pads, cross the goal line. Nice job by the big boys up front. Another touchdown on the board for the Longhorns.
Well, the Longhorns and Johnson with his best day of the season, 15 carries, 84 yards. Johnson now with 11 touchdowns on the year.
Well, it was running back by committee a good part of the season, but it seems like Johnson is taking a board of directors position on the committee. Yeah. He seems to be a guy that they're going to, and I like the little combination today. Johnson and Newton now. That 1-2 punch has been lethal.
And Johnson, just a sophomore, he's got 23 touchdowns in his career now. The Phillips HD scoring drive as Texas gets its 5th touchdown, and it's 35-0. And they'll kick it off once again. Out of the end zone with that nice breeze at the back of the University of Texas, and that means Baylor with 2:50 to go will have it 1st and 10 from its own 20, but 3 of Baylor's last 4 drives have been for negative yards, which has made it an easy scoring situation for Texas.
Here comes the Longhorn defense. Will Muschamp was not probably happy about giving up an 11-play drive, although it finalized with an interception for his defense, but boy, they made some adjustments. And since then, Baylor has not been able to accumulate inches, never mind yards.
Now 11 plays on that first drive and 16 plays since. This one out on the flat and out near the 25-yard line as Brown
Personal
makes
foul.
the tackle.
Yeah.
On the offense, number 55.
You have a legal chop.
Half the distance to the goal.
Baylor does so much cut blocking. You can't chop, you can't cut when somebody else is already engaged. And watch the Baylor Bears. They're right here. Engaged, center cuts. You can't do the chop. Engaged, and they both chop them. That's a double team chop on that. That can't happen. And that's a good call for player safety.
Salubi was the ball carrier. His first run of the day came in with a team best 45 carries. So it's 1st and 20 now. And Florence taking the snap from under center, tried to connect with Ernest Smith, and incomplete. Stops the clock at 2:24. They better be careful here. Texas may get another possession inside Baylor territory.
Bill, let me ask you a question. We can talk about this more in the second half, obviously. But Colt McCoy, as far as the Heisman Trophy is concerned, today it looks like he's going to get his 42nd win in tying David Green, the most for a quarterback in NCAA history. Only 7 losses. Green has 10. He's won every bowl game he's been in. How the heck can that guy not win at least one Heisman Trophy?
Yeah, and people would say, I guess the naysayers, as this one complete to Akers, would be that, hey, it's not a career achievement. It is who's the best football player. But when you look around and look at what he's produced and what he's done, there's a bunch of fine candidates, but I don't know if anybody has separated themselves, Dave. And to me, that's when you kind of, if I was voting, and I'm not this year, that's when you go beyond, all right, who's more than just the best football player.
But how does Colt McCoy do better than the numbers he had last year? He completed almost 77%. You know, he was pressing a little bit to complete 80. He's still well into the 70s. I mean, he's completing 3 out of every 4 passes for the last 2 seasons. The guy competes at a high level.
Baylor pitching here, nothing doing. Fumble. Texas recover. No, still loose. I think Baylor finally fell on it. I think Akers. And it'd be a touchdown or a safety.
The ball was recovered in the end zone by the offensive team. Safety.
Yep, it's a safety. So the fumble was caused by Sam Acho, and then Justin Akers. You got to credit him for just staying after it and only giving up 2 instead of 6.
Well, you know, that's just an awesome effort right here. And, you know, this almost is the 73rd non-offensive touchdown. Just stay after it, punch it out of there. I mean, that's an unbelievable play. Ball security questionable. And now the Texas Longhorns knock each other off the football. And as a result, it's recovered by Baylor. Instead of being the 73rd non-offensive touchdown, it's a safety forced by the defense and the excellence of Acho. The Acho brothers can play.
Yes, as once again, Texas defense, was it, they had 9 non-offensive touchdowns this year for Texas. Well, their defense gets 2 points here. Yes, the Achos are grande, are they not?
They are. Look at that. They've combined for 5 forced fumbles and 6 recoveries. I mean, you know, as a football team, they had their 27th takeaway today. 6 recoveries. That's a pretty decent amount of those takeaways, you know, and out of those brothers. And they forced other fumbles. Some of them they forced and recovered, but 9 sacks out of them as well. That's I know Mac Brown is very, very grateful to Mr. and Mrs. Acho.
37-0, and Texas will get it with 1:28 to go in the half. The kickoff from the 20 following the safety, and from the 25 to 30, and then brought down about the 35-yard line.
You know, it's interesting. It's a free kick from the 20. You can kick off or punt. And the way Epperson has been punting the football this year, I thought they may have him punt free kick, but they decided to kick off.
Malcolm Williams on the receiving end that time. You take a look at those possessions for Texas.
This started the game right there. I mean, it was boom, boom, boom down the field. And look at that. I mean, they've got, what? They've got 6 touchdowns. No, 5 touchdowns and 7 possessions. My goodness.
McCoy trying to work on another one, and completes that one to Kirkendall. They'll be in the hurry up here with 1:13 to go. Texas just 1 timeout remaining in the half. Landor made the stop, and it's 2nd and 3 at the 42 of the Longhorns. McCoy to Shipley has the first down. Odom covering. Cliff Odom, junior out of Arlington, Texas, from Arlington Martin High School.
One thing I'm impressed with, too, Texas, they're not taking their foot off the throat.
No.
I mean, they're still full go. They came out up-tempo. They're staying up-tempo. And Mac Brown doesn't want to create bad habits. Okay, cruise a little bit. No cruising.
Childs. This looked like bull in the ring. He was trying to find a way to get out of there. And 4 Baylor players had him cornered, but he picks up 8 yards. It's 2nd and 2. And Shipley, with that last reception, has moved up to a tie with Quan Cosby for 2nd all-time in receiving. And that one would have broken it. A little bit behind Shipley that time. Pressure by Pavelic, who was coming after McCoy.
Well, Shipley, you know, candidate obviously for the Biletnikoff Award, but I mean, a lot of people are talking about him the way he's playing down the stretch as a dark horse Heisman candidate. But Colt McCoy is the primary candidate from this football team, but Shipley has played magnificently. And that tandem, that 1-2 tandem right there, one feeds off the other down the stretch here.
Absolutely phenomenal, the chemistry there. McCoy, and out of bounds on the reception is Trey Newton. Stops the clock with 17 seconds to go. And this is a great drill for Texas, regardless of what they get out of it, for on down the road.
And they are right now operating at such a high level of efficiency. I mean, they look like a well-oiled machine right now. It has been a track meet for them in this first half.
They have 293 yards of offense. 16 seconds to go here. Across the middle, it's deflected to Kirkendall. And Kirkendall makes the grab at the 24-yard line. 9 seconds. Is he going to down it?
Yep, spike it.
Yep, and now they've got 7 seconds to go. You could make, what, 1 toss to the end zone? Well, you've got a timeout still.
Well, you know it's your day when it goes through your tight end Greg Smith's hands to a receiver. And there's Greg Smith releasing late at the bottom of the screen. He's going to go to him, split his hands, but right to the awaiting wide receiver Kirkendall. So, I mean, everything is going right.
Here you go.
Split him. Little tip drill. I'll take it.
We don't have a lot of time. We better hurry up here. I'll just pass it on to you.
Amazing. That's when you know your day is going well, and Art Browse is saying ours isn't.
41-yard field goal attempt, and it is good. Hunter Lawrence, the 41-yarder, he is now 17 of 20, and it's a 40-0 ball game with 3 ticks on the clock left. How efficient have the Longhorns been today? You know, we were looking at that possessions deal, and Texas scores. Baylor goes 11 plays, gets picked,
Yep.
then gets a 3 and out defensively, but then they went for it on 4th and down,
right.
and the flood came.
Absolutely. I mean, in the beginning of this football game, Texas came out just like they wanted. They go 10 plays, 80 yards, up tempo. The alarm clock went off. I mean, they were ready to go. Defensively, Baylor comes right out and answers. And they go down the field to the 3-yard line. And then a goal line stand by Texas. They hammer the first run. They deflect the second play, which is a pass. And then not only deflecting, but intercepting the next play is Aaron Williams. He makes a deflection, interception. They get no points. Art Browse decides it's 4th and inches. I got to go for it, stay in this game. He doesn't get it. Short field. Longhorns score. Since then, ugly.
Short kick to try to nullify anything of a return. And Baylor will bring it to the 35-yard line. And that will be the end of the first half. Josh Gordon on the carry. So Colt McCoy and crew, impressive indeed in this first half, as Colt McCoy throws for 164 yards and 2 scores. Mac Brown got to be happy. Let's send it down to Emily Jones standing with her.
Well, Mac, you said you wanted to start fast. You go up-tempo with the offense. It seemed to work.
It is working for us, Emily. The defense is getting the 3 and outs. We've had the good punt return. We've had a good punt block, and our offense has gotten good rhythm. We've been able to run the ball better today.
We all know about style points. We all know you have a quarterback that's in the Heisman race. How do you handle your personnel in the second half with a 40-0 lead?
Well, what we always do is we go back and start over. And we come out the third quarter like the game's nothing. That's what we'll talk about inside. And we go back and reestablish this game.
Coach Brown, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. Time now to go to the LA studios. The Geico halftime report with Darren Horton.